It's Music Scene Investigation. It's on the air, and we welcome you back to the broadcast, everyone. Thanks for being here, and my name's Rich Wildman. You can see it at the bottom of the screen someplace down there. I have no idea. We're glad you're with us. We got 3 new songs to put in front of our panel this week. We'll find out what they have to say about them as we go along today, and I'm sure they'll have something interesting to say about each and every one of them. They usually do. So look forward to having their input and things as they go along today. Of course, it is springtime here in the United States. If you're down under, sorry, it's now fall for you, and, well, I hope it's a nice one. Hope you have more snow than we did, by the way, just because I can. I don't know.
You're a generous man, right?
I am. I try to be. Anyway, 3 new songs in front of the panel coming in from all over the world. Indie artists submit their music to Music Scene Investigation at our website, musicsceneinvestigation.com. Simply go over there, hit submit a song if you'd like to have your music in front of our panel. It's very easy to do, and each week, as I said before, we select 3 new ones to put in front of the panel. So let's meet our panel, shall we? Let's find out who these guys are, talk to them a little bit, find out if it's nice where they're at as well. London, England, Ian Husbands is there. Ian, how are you, sir? Things going well in England, I'm sure.
I got really worried for a second there, Rich, when you said it's springtime. I thought you were going to launch into song and do that Springtime for Hitler song from Mel Brooks's The Producers.
I would have, but of course, you know, we are politically correct here on MSI. I'm so sick and tired of political correctness, by the way.
You just don't want to pay the sync license.
That's true, too.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's, you know, it's satire. We can do satire. I'm happy with that.
As long as we keep it to like 10 seconds or less, I think we're good. Other than that, I have no idea. Is it warm in England? I know they keep telling me, and I'm at the point right now where I don't believe them anymore. They keep saying that it's hotter than ever. It's hotter than it has ever been in London, and people are going to die in the streets roasting, and it's just terrible. So what is it there?
We're all gonna die. No, not really. It's kind of taken a step back in my mind. It's very windy. It's been raining. We've had a couple of patches of sunlight, which everyone's sort of stuck their heads out and gone, summer's returned. Oh, no, it hasn't. And gone back in their houses. So, yeah, it's not as good as people are saying it is. I mean, maybe it's going to get hotter, but it always does around this time of year.
That's why they call it spring, and spring is followed by summer and so on and so forth.
But the daffodils are out, so spring has officially sprung, you know, from that point of view.
Oh, that's good, I guess.
They also have a new CD.
What?
I have no idea. We keep getting
they have a new CD out.
We keep getting these cross feeds of audio. I think there's a guy with a CB around someplace that it cross feeds in. I'm going to have to check my wiring after the show. All right, Ian.
1-9 for a copy. 1-9 for a copy.
Breaker, Big Rich, check your wiring all the time.
You've got witness statements from last week's broadcast. On last week's broadcast, if you watched it, you'll remember we had 3 Parts Dead along with the Figureheads and Red Velvet Crush, whose song Girls Rock 2 was our song of the week. Ian, what about the witness statements? Are we back on track, or are we still falling behind?
Well, do you know what? Not many people voted, and when I say not many people, I mean 2 people actually cast their vote this year. Or this week, should I say. It's been a long week. And, yeah, we went with Girls Rock 2 by Red Velvet Crush as a panel. But only one person agreed with us on that, giving Song 3 50% of the votes in all categories.
So you're 50-50.
Yeah, but for songwriting, the other 50% went to Song 2, Anger, by The Figureheads. Performance went to Song 1, Party Never Ended, by 3 Parts Dead. And Best Mix and Production went to Song 1. So kind of, I would like to say everyone agreed with us, but
They did.
50% of the 2 people that voted agreed with us.
Well, 50% is a winning combination in any political forum.
It's not quite a democracy, though, is it? A 50-50 split. It's not really a majority.
Well, it's not like we're selling stocks or anything, I mean, it's fine.
I'm just saying, the political elite could learn a lot from me.
Yeah, well, there you go. By the way, welcome Martin Waterhouse to the show. Martin Waterhouse out in the audience, everybody. Tell your family, tell your friends. Wake them up if you have to. I'm just saying.
Can I have your autograph? Sorry. I just want a quick plug. I put a new song out this week. I say it's a new song. It's one that's been sat on my hard drive and I've remixed recently and had it mastered by some bloke. Who was it? Oh, his name will come to me. Yeah. Very Tom Chianti in his style, I think. Song called Childhood Falls. Talking about political correctness, Rich. It really isn't. It's about child abuse and stuff like that. But don't let that put you off. Go and have a listen to the song. It's actually sort of a quite nice take on it, I hope.
All right. Well, definitely want everybody to do that then. And I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you. Down to the English Riviera we go, where Mr. James Anderson is standing by in his undisclosed yacht location. James, how are you, my friend?
1 2 1 2. Rubber duck. What's your handle?
Marco.
Got any other CB lingo?
Marco.
How's it going? Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Well, we're glad to see you online again this week. I know that you had a little adventure today out on the M25, from what I heard.
Yeah, I did. I had a reasonable day. Well, I had a very nice day until I got on the road later this evening, not so long ago. I was spending some time with my fiance's family celebrating our engagement, and it's the first party of 3, believe it or not.
That's not bad. Not bad. Did you
it's
have
it's good to be celebrating.
Nice summery drinks there in the Riviera?
No. The weather wasn't great until everybody left the party, and then the sun emerged for a good half an hour, as Ian said, and then disappeared again. But it's been a nice day. Met some new faces, seen some old faces, and had a lovely day.
Now, are you making fun of old people? I want to ask this in all seriousness. Old faces, new faces. You saw babies, you saw old people. Is that what you're insinuating here?
No, just mainly old. I'm not being rude about anyone.
All right. So you're going out there. You're targeting old people out on the Riviera.
Now, that usually happens. I'm just a one-man killing machine.
Remember, we're recording this.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
I'm in an unknown location, so I'm fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Using an alias. It's not my real name either.
Yeah, no, James Anderson is not. His real name, ladies and gentlemen, is Neo. Mr. Anderson. Yeah, there you go. All right, so James, what else has been going on with you in Brighton? Anything interesting? Now, I'm not saying that the family's not interesting. Don't get me wrong. I think family's very interesting, in the right context. So anything else been going on?
As for life in Brighton, as you're probably aware, in the UK it's bank holiday weekend, so it's going to be a nice, long, lazy weekend, which is jam-packed with nice excursions and goodness. So tomorrow I'm off to a food festival to eat even more food and put on more weight. And hopefully there'll be a bit of drinking involved as well. But work-wise, as all of our listeners know, I'm working less and less in the audio industry as my area is collapsing quite tragically. So I'm having to do a lot of retraining, but I'm relatively out of touch. So hopefully my opinion is still valid. That's all I can say.
Your opinion is very valid, and we wouldn't have you here otherwise.
Good. That's nice to hear in these hard times.
Ian, you got his replacement lined up, right? Just want to make sure.
I ain't coming back no matter how much you beg, guys.
All right, keep working on it, Ian. We'll get it figured out. All right, James, thanks for being here. Always appreciate that as well. You saw him just a second ago, Mr. Tom Chianti, of At the Cube is here with us. And if you're not familiar with the Cube, you should be. It's one of New York's finest recording studios, and I'll let the guy himself tell us all about it. Hey, Tommy, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon. Good evening.
It's
Good
nice
day.
to see you again. What's been up with you? I know that every time I see you, it seems like we've got some new equipment going into the Cube, some new things going on over there, and you're always. I don't know how you have time to record any of the artists under your wing because you're always replacing and pulling equipment. What's going on, man?
That's part of the reason, and the other part is, you want to attract the clients that recognize quality. So we got upgraded to some world-class converters from Apogee, and it's a constant process. One of my friends who was a mentor of mine a long time ago, he said, this is the best piece of advice I'm ever going to give you. It's like, don't ever own a studio. And he owned 3 in Manhattan, right on 42nd Street. And I laughed. I said, no, that's never going to happen.
So now you are running this studio. You've been running this studio for a very long time. How long has the Cube been out there, and how long have you been doing it actually at the Cube?
We started around 2003, and then it was in a smaller, much smaller apartment. And it actually was a Cube. Then I moved to a little cottage behind a nice estate. That was the largest Cube. That's when the gear really started pouring in because we had the money, the studio was doing good. And then now we're at home, and it's called Intimate for code word small.
Okay.
And but we've got top of the line everything. I have a second. As you said, I'm always upgrading. I got a second mix station now. Alana's writing new songs, one a week, killing me.
Yeah, no, I saw recently where you had put out an in-studio video of Alana doing some vocal tracks, and she
Yeah.
very graciously took us over to the place where all of the contract writer perks are located. In this case, I believe it was Fruit and Sweets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Grapes of Wrath and the House of Card Peanuts or something. I don't know. Yeah.
It was pretty cool
But-
stuff.
Yeah, it was, when Alana and I do work, it's very informal. So, but, Alana is always the professional, and I'm always the professional. And I thought it would be cool we videotaped the whole 4-hour session, and then I just edited it down to, a couple of the outtakes. I mean, there's a lot of serious work that went on, and I just took the outtakes down, put it together with a jam, and it turned out to be a classic, and it's a classic Alana because she's, keeps me on my toes.
Oh, yeah.
now, and,
I
but
could
the big thing is, now we're Alana Atomic Productions and Publishing is really making a push. We're starting submissions again because now I got the time, and my day starts at like 4 o'clock in the morning, where I go through submissions I want to send or answers I get back, and then you got to spend time on the website. And then you got to go at your Facebook page. And then, usually by about 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you're already 12 hours into your day. And that's when you either got to start production, mix, writing. We set aside certain hours of each day for writing and stuff. So, yeah, it's a lot to do. And I hadn't done it for a long time because of whatever reasons. I just, figured, now's the time to do it. And that's why we upgraded the studio. And I mean, we've got cutting edge gear. I've got vintage gear, and Mr. Microphone is always knocking on my door and dropping packages. Also, Mr. Mixing Console.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
I
that's
got
it's a brand new console you have in front of you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What kind of console is it? You had a Behringer last time we checked in with you.
Yeah.
What do you have in there now?
Well, I actually had this before the Behringer and brought it back out of storage. It's a Tascam DM3200. It's a digital board, but it's got a very big bottom end, integrates with Digital Performer, with the Mac. Automation is really easy, and it also gives me like 90 digital inputs on its own. Plus now I've got another 24 with the Apogee, the Symphony, and the Thunder Bridge. That's another 64. So we've got about like 240 track count, real track, without even going into the sequencer or the DAW. I could just run things. The second station is mostly just synthesizers, hardware synths. So I just run everything in real time. And it's going to be real cool. It's going to be a big sound. And
It sounds like it. Looking forward to anything you have produced out of there. Of course, I know you're in the middle of stuff all the time, so we definitely look forward to that. All right, one more quick question before we go to our music on the show today. What is next coming out of the Cube? What do you have on the mixing board right now that you're working on? You could tell us about.
Well, I'm supposed to be mixing a song for IVH. She's, long time protege from another site where we met, I don't know how many years ago. She's been doing her independent releases on Reverb Nation or something. I forget. I don't care. I just, make them sound good, and she puts them out wherever she wants. And then, like I said, Alana is killing me. We're going to, she wrote a new song. I had a dear friend, longtime friend, who finally succumbed to a battle with cancer. So Alana, everybody's taken back, and Alana is dealing with it by writing a song that, makes everybody feel better and remember this girl, Debbie. She's a musician. Her husband's a musician. He owns a music store. She had 2 beautiful daughters who are getting into the music industry. So hopefully, we'll take something tragic and just, put a little nice memory in there. And I may even wind up making a video because, like I said, all our friends are musicians. So we're just going to throw a party and record the tracks live when we do background vocals, lay down drum tracks and guitars and video and tape everything.
Makes perfect sense, and I wish you the best of luck on that, of course. Also, on reminding me, after Tom mentioned it, Pinky, another Tom, by the way, our janitor, will not be in the audience today. He had another event that he had to attend to, and not a happy event for him either, so hopefully everything works out in that regard as well. We'll have his weekly cleanup appearing later this week about the 3 songs that are reviewed on today's broadcast, and we're going to get to those right now, as we always do every week. 3 new songs, 3 new artists. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. At least that's what they tell me to say. So I have here
Who tells you that?
I don't know. Somebody tells me. I wake up every Sunday, and there's this series of 3x5 index cards like this one. And one of them says, it's going to be fun, 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 and all these motivational things on them. I'm not really into that, but they make me read them. It's in the contract. I don't know.
That's what started happening to Howard Hughes. You do know that, Rich.
Yeah. Hey, I do trim my fingernails. It's all good, I promise.
All right, grab the Kleenex and let's go to a song.
All right, well, let's do it. Song number 1 up on today's show, everybody. Here it is. This is track number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everybody. Track Number 1.
Since you vanished without a trace, red wine and starless nights has taken your place. Now I'm getting high on pain. Yes, I'm getting high on pain. Trees, breeze is my comfort. Trees, breeze is my comfort. The emotions send me high, flying like a kite, and warm the smell of alcohol from your disdains. Where have I gone? Where do I belong? Trees, breeze is my comfort. Trees, breeze is my comfort. Trees, da 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 da. I remember your smell. I remember your taste. Your small embrace, my outburst of rage that smoky fill my veins with a replacement of your fulfilling smile. Your fulfilling grace. Trees, breeze is my comfort.
There you have track number 1 on the broadcast today. We're going to go over to our panel right now, find out what their thoughts are, starting out with Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, what do you think about track number 1?
Okay. I like this. She's got a lovely voice. Elements of that and the production and her singing that reminded me of artists like Imogen Heap. So some really nice harmonies are going on there, some really nice harmony work and backing vocals, and use of delays and stuff in parts where sort of some of the backing vocals were just peeling off and doing their own thing, just sort of hanging on the delay in the background. Very nice. Lots of good production here. But that snare, though, right? that snare. It's just like, right, let's do this track. Okay, well, we want to put some drums down. Let's get a metal drummer in. Smack! Smack! I wanted to hear it more jazzy. I wanted to hear it more laid back. I wanted to hear it less snappy and more round, and pull back in that mix a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Placement, it was nice, but tonally that was just totally wrong for the track. It was too hard, too much, and constant. It probably is a sample. It's a good one, but not for this track. And those guitars, okay. You've got a nice groove set here. The bass, it was doing what it needed to. I would have liked to hear the bass player pushing their limits a little bit more. And tonally, I would like to hear sort of more in the sort of lower mids of that bass to just get it to cut through a little bit more. It was getting a little bit muddy in the bottom there. But those guitars, it sounds like someone said, look, I've got this track, and I really want to put some nice sort of Spanishy style guitar on this. Would you do it for me? And he's gone, yeah, no problem. And he sat down and he's done a really nice job of jamming through the track without really knowing it. And it does. It feels like he's not quite always playing the same song. And there's a couple of things going on. There's some stereo effect on there, maybe two lots of guitars playing at the same time, and they're sort of both doing these little noodly bits and these nice little sort of arpeggios and stuff like that, but not at the same time. And they're starting to clash. And the acoustic I found was very bright and didn't really sort of have any substance to it in the mix. And it was kind of like really muddying up that area where these guitars should have been sitting nicely and working with each other, working more with the drums, working more with the bass, and getting a finer arrangement down on them. You know, if that's what you've got, go back, start editing down and start using loops of some of that. Because there is some really nice playing in there. But as it is, it's just too much in places and not enough in others, and it clashes in other places. It is a good song. I think, you know, strip this back, sort that snare out, take those guitars away, and start working out parts of the guitar to play and get them arranged. You've got a good vocalist, you've got a nice groove, you've got a hook there. The song's there pretty much, in my opinion. It's just how it's produced and how it's been played that's the issue.
All right. Well, I appreciate your thoughts, Ian. Thank you. Over to James Anderson right now. By the way, everybody, if you're having issues with the video, because I can see it on the server over here to my right, the video is having issues. If you're having issues, please go to musicsceneinvestigation.com/radio. Check us out on the live stream there. And from the looks of things and from what I'm hearing, the radio is fine. Just the video we're having issues with. So hang out on the radio with us and you'll hear everything perfectly. That's what I'm being told anyway. James, track number 1, what do you think?
It's good, but I've got mixed feelings about the production and the general way it's been undertaken. I think what's ultimately there is what should be a more laid-back track, but there's elements of it that just prevent it from being so. Maybe that's just the mental state. I mean, maybe I'm just hoping for something laid back and chilled, but I have a feeling that something's not quite gelling. And as Ian said, the guitars seem to be slightly different. It's like, as he said, the guitarist is playing to another song. And I really liked those kind of jangly moments from the acoustic. And I just didn't feel that it fitted 100%. Good vocals. I think there's a little bit of overkill on some of the digital effects. Be nice to maybe strip that back a bit and make it a little bit more natural, organic, and analog. What else? The drums. That snare certainly stuck out like a sore thumb. Really, very sort of in your face when it wasn't essential to be. And I think that the EQing of the kick left a lot to be desired, really. That's something that if the kick was going to be that punchy, maybe that should have been as well. Or maybe the drums should have been redone and just sort of calmed down a little, made a little bit less prominent. What else? I think fundamentally the track is there. It's good. It grew on me about 2.5 minutes in. I was really getting into it until I heard some more of the effects on the vocal and the backing vocals, and I thought it was just a little bit of overkill there. But apart from that, it's good, and I think that with a reworking or a remix, it would be great, especially something a little bit more stripped back and a bit more unplugged sounding would be great.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, James. Thank you very much. Now, to the man, the myth, the legend. Of course, that's what he told me to say. Mr. Tom Chianti. Tommy, what do you think about track number 1?
Well, I'm going to take a little bit of what Ian said and spice it up with, oh my God, my video looks horrible. I'm Mr. Pixel.
Yeah, you are Mr. Pixel. One big pixel.
Yeah, well.
It is what it
Time to
is.
upgrade the studio again.
It's not you, it's the bandwidth, and that's why we're on radio as well.
Okay. Yeah, take a little bit of what Ian said and what James said. I agree with both of them as far as, everybody, I think, is unanimous. Using a canon for a snare in a ballad song is not the best idea. Especially if you're going to put it that up front. There's a lot of thought that went into the digital effects, or however they use some analog effects or whatever. But it's too much, like James said, and like Ian said, it sounds like different songs playing together. And I think the best, I like going last, by the way, because this is great. You get to hear everybody's thoughts, and you actually get to see that what you were feeling, somebody else will say, because sometimes I hear things and I can't put my fingers on it. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. So, yeah, too much playing, too much of the mix and effects, too much over the top on. I really like her voice. She's got a great voice, and there is definitely something here. It just needs to be toned down and shaped and to be put in a best presentation. It's, as it is right now, it's a very rough demo. And if they were to, take this back to the drawing board and just think about what they really like and because the upper lows, lower mids are just bleeding with verb and guitars and playing all those notes don't help. And it takes about 2.5 minutes before your mind sorts all the sound out that you can actually spot these intricate parts that are going on. Because when it first comes on, it just sounds like somebody, is dumping a bowl of spaghetti into the sauce. It's great. It's going to be even better. We just got to take our portion, so just portion out what's doing what. And allow these things to have their space and take the best parts so that, the groove was shifting and the snare was, honestly, for the first 8 bars, every time the snare came in, and it's very distracting. And that's the top of the list. That could either retrigger it or just bring it down, EQ it a little bit more round, not so, 4K, 3K, soften. The reverb was nice. It's a nice, fills it out, and you want that for a ballad. The vocal was a little much with the delay and not enough with the reverb. I would have loved her to do like the, I don't know, Celine Dion type of vocals, any of those diva vocals. She's got a diva voice. If you can sing really good, you hear the emotion in her voice. She should just sing, and then everything should just be behind her, trailing off nicely, so that she can continue to sing, and you just hear the memories of the great lick she sang before, and you're waiting for something else instead of having what she sang still hanging around while she's trying to move forward with the song. So all in all, it's all good, but too much of too much is too much. So just pick your pieces, pick your spots, and you got something that's be very unique and beautiful here.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate that. Too much is too much is too much, and like spaghetti and the sauce being mixed together. I've never heard that analogy before, but now I have. By the
Now
way,
you know why I'm the Italian engineer.
that's right. That's what Chianti is. There you go. You got it all written down. All right. By the way, Patty Timmerman says she is listening on the radio, Ian. Wants to make that
Good.
perfectly clear.
Where is she?
On the radio, listening.
Yeah, but where is she in chat?
I don't know.
How do you know? She's Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter. All right. Song number 1 is called Trees by Livie, Mone, and we appreciate her sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Thank you very much. Again, to remind everybody, if you're an indie artist anywhere in the world, you want your music in front of our panel, all you have to do is go to musicsceneinvestigation.com and click on Submit a Song at the top of the page, and we'll get it in front of our panel. It's the way we do it around here. It's really kind of simple, and we actually like it simple. Simple's good. Song number 2, guys, and this one is coming out to everybody right now, so please enjoy it with us. Track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everybody. Track number 2.
People say we're living in the free world. Freedom's granted everybody, human rights as well. that we can back away. We shall rather stay, just slaves of love.
That's song number 2 on the broadcast today. We're going to go over and start with James Anderson this time around. James, track number 2, what do you think about this one?
Well, that was tantalizing for the earbuds. Very interesting. At first, I thought it would be something completely different. I was kind of misled into thinking it would be a completely different genre when I first heard the first few notes. And then it seemed to have a sort of strange false start to it, which really threw me off. And then I was bombarded with levels and level problems, unfortunately. This one's got a lot of mix issues, and it's got my pet hate of very preset sounds on the keys, which really doesn't work. And the guitar sounded a bit strange too. Shame that the vocal levels weren't more prominent. They certainly became more prominent towards the end of the track when the backing vocals swamped everything. It seemed that there was just no control in the mix whatsoever when it came to that. Maybe the artist didn't think a great deal when it came to mixing and spent more focus on the song, which is fair enough. But there just seemed to be a lot of repetition, and it just became a little bit too boring, unfortunately. There's a lot of improvements to be made, which are mainly mix problems, a little bit of songwriting, and my bugbear of sort of out of the box sounds. So I think back to the drawing board on this one.
All right, Diana. I appreciate that, James, and we'll find out what everybody else thinks. Tommy Chianti, Tom, track number 2. What do you think about this one?
Again, I agree definitely with James. This has, I think it has just enough, not too much, but what it doesn't have enough of is matching levels. So everything is jarring along, like that false start he was talking about. There's several points where it goes to a transition and into a different groove or feel, or just, new instruments coming in. It's very, from the 60s, 70s, a group called Renaissance, and a little Dire Straits from the 80s on the guitar. I like the whole concept. Again, great vocalist, cannot hear her. Guitar is way too prominent, and things are butting up against each other instead of smoothly gliding off to give you a sense of roll, a sense of rhythm, and instead it's more like you're free falling down a mountain cliff, bouncing from boulder to boulder as these new parts come in. Transitioning phrases could be different or added, but I think before they start rewriting the song, they redo the mix and see, if they can get the levels, like both James and I feel, down. And it's more than just about loud or soft. You have to remember the sounds have to work off each other. The bass drives, the drum grooves, or the other way around. You got to pick something to do something. You can't just have everything doing the same thing at the same time, because you get sort of like a ta-ta-ta-ta effect where it's punchy, but it's too punchy, and there's no continuation flowing from beginning to an end on a really good track that I think if they sat down, spent more time on the mix, they may have come about these things on their own. So yeah, definitely get a better mix, and then see if you do need to write a transitionary or a transition phrase or whatever, or is it just because everything comes in all edgy and boom right next that people are like it's bump cars on, and yeah, okay.
All right, Tom. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Over to Ian. Ian, track number 2 is all yours, my friend. What do you think?
Yeah, really interesting piece. Lots of good ideas going on there. Nice groove, different, like the chord change. It had a sort of quirkiness to it, which was really appealing. I thought the backing vocals came in a little bit too late. Basically, they should have used some more layering of vocals in and out of that a bit more. That would have helped sort of strengthen up them choruses a bit more, in my opinion. But yeah, mixed levels. That piano was just dominating the whole track. The guitar was sort of swamping the middle. There was lots of, as the guys have discussed, really, lots of mixed issues going on with that. But yeah, I'd like to see this sort of song and this band develop a bit more. They've got an interesting sound, and a couple of comments in the chat room, sort of Motionic I've heard in a long time, and things like that. So it is interesting. There is a good song here. I like the girl's voice. That was good as well. So yeah, sort that mix out.
All right, short and sweet. That's the way Ian always is. Track number 2 is called Free World Illusion, and it's by the Clef crew. And we appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation, as well as Tommy gives him a hand.
No, I'm giving you a hand. That's the first time I've heard you ever say a tongue twister live. Right.
I occasionally get one tossed my way, Doesn't happen very often.
You are the professional.
Yeah, well, tell somebody else that, All right, track number 3 is up on the deck next, and we're going to take a listen to it right now on Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everybody. This is track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everybody. Track number 3.
Looking like you might wanna go. No, she can't bitch.
All right, that is track number 3 on today's music scene investigation. We're going to go over to our panel, starting with our guest, Tom Chianti from The Cube. Tommy, track number 3 over to you. What do you think about that one?
I like a lot of this. This is very B-52s with Pat Benatar type of vocal on it. She's got a very nice voice. Unfortunately, again, mix issues are making something that's very unique coming off as not as well as it should be because of the mix issues. The vocal disappears several times. The guitar sound, it might work, but the room or reverb they're using on them, like a trash can, oil can, doesn't work. It makes them dark and makes the drums sound thin. The drums can be subtle, you know, they can be very percussive for this, and that'll work. But, you know, you need some smoothness on those guitars, top and bottom, and or at least, you know, something to set them back so they can play their really cool parts and jump around. And again, it comes down to mix issues about balance and what's going to work off with what. When people do mixes, they really, you know, don't just, okay, let's get the vocal loud and we're done. It's, well, okay, let's bring up the drums and hear how they work with the bass, or the bass and the guitars, or the guitars and the drums, and back and forth to make sure everything is gelling and jamming together, so you can really do what this band has done, and the band before it also. I definitely love, you know, a little Oingo Boingo going on too. Yeah, B-52 is one of my favorite old times band. I think they really got a nice sound here, especially like I said, the girl reminds me very reminiscent of young Pat Benatar. I would definitely do some more work on this and see again if it's just a mix issue, or do you really want to use that pre-recorded guitar sound that you have? Maybe go for a different guitar sound, or maybe add some, little vocal padding or a little guitar padding just to smooth things out. Again, it's a little jarring from section to section, but in this type of music, you know, especially if they're going for the B-52 type of thing, that's cooler. And it has a precedent so that people can think back and make the connection so that they don't seem like, you know, who's driving this bus? We just hit a pothole. And I'd rather going from pothole to pothole, you know, it just needs to be toned in. Again, I don't think anybody overplayed in this one. I think it just needs to be brought together as a total package. And I think they have everything they need. Give it another try, you know, and in the mixing, and, you know, somebody else, you know, and see what their vision is. You know, a lot of people hear the same song, especially from a mix from a mix angle, perception, perspective. There's the word, mix perspective. You can do, you know, you can create or make the song or break the song with a bad or good mix. And these are elements that, you know, have to all come in when you've got good parts, good players, good singers. You want everybody to be heard, and you want to make sure they all shine, and then you want to put the whole thing together so it's solid and flows. Instead of, you know, noticing there's a hole here, or the drums are thin, or the guitars, they're not quite there, and you want to just listen and know it's done. And that's what, you know, when anybody's writing a song and they're going to present it either as an indie release or to a submission to a major, you want to give the impression that this is the best it will sound and that it's done. I'm not getting that from this, but I love everything in it, and I think they should just, you know, redo the mix and take their time and see where they can go. Or go further.
All right. I appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you very much. Now over to Ian Husbands. Ian, your take on track number 3.
This to me sounded very much like a very well played live rehearsal room or live recording studio take with the whole band playing at the same time. Some of the reverbs going on and that sort of, as Box said in the chat, that dead room sound that the whole thing has got, especially with the vocals and stuff like that. It sounds to me like maybe this is a live band doing their thing in the studio, maybe a couple of overdubs here and there. And then it sounds like the singer had a fallout with the rest of the band, especially the guitarist and the bass player. And the guitarist and bass player went and mixed the track without the singer being there, and it went a bit horribly wrong. But it does sound like it's very sort of dead sort of room sound, and they're all playing there together. And if they are, that's great, because it's really good performances going on. Even the singer, although you can't hear what she's saying, there's some nice harmony work in there. And it sounds like she's got a really good voice. And yeah, I liked what was going on with the vocals from what I could hear. Strong riffs. It really is, just, to recap on what Tommy said, it's mix issues there and they need resolving. I think they do. Really strong song, really strong band, but without it coming across properly in that mix, it's difficult to fully appreciate it. And obviously vocals are a big thing, and I like to hear them. So that's the big downfall for this.
All right. Well, thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Now over to James Anderson. James, track number 3, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I really liked it from a musical perspective. It was a nice performance. Everything seemed to gel quite well. As the guys said, it was probably a live recording with all of them in the studio simultaneously. And the biggest problem, as we've already identified, is within the mix, especially the way that the vocals are swamped. The bass and the guitars are up nice and high, obliterating everything else. It's horrible when that happens, and especially on the show, because that's the kind of thing that can prevent it from being voted as Song of the Week. I'm not saying it will be prevented from that position, but it's just a shame when a good song's let down by the mix, and I think that's something that could be very easily remedied with this. Okay, there is background noise and some problems with the recording, but I think if you did a really good job with this, with the mix, it would sound incredible. It's a really great track, good hooks, very nice tight performances. Just a real pity that the mix is all wrong. Levels are just aren't right, I'm afraid. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you very much, James. I appreciate that as well. Track number 3 is called Circus, and it's by a group called Sucker Band, and we appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Now, as we do every week, we go back to our panel and toss it over to them, letting them make a Song of the Week selection. Of course, we invite you to let us know your thoughts by filling out your witness statements, which will bring the results of next week. So if you fill those out at MusicSceneInvestigation.com, we'll find out what everybody had to say about this week's music during next week's broadcast. All right, guys and gal.
Oh, yeah.
No gal today.
That microphone does look like you're left pressed, but I don't think it qualifies.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. Ian, now I remember why we got rid. No, never mind.
That way, guys.
All right. Going to toss it over to our panel. Find out what their thoughts are for the Song of the Week. All right, gentlemen, what do you think of Song 1, Song 2, or Song 3?
My thoughts are it's not your left breast we got to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Ha, ha, ha.
Anywho, I don't know. I'm in a state of flux.
All right, Ian, you don't know. James, Tommy, what about
thinking.
you guys?
I'm just trying to remember what I did like about all 3, because I know what I don't like. So I'm trying to make an opinion based on what I did like.
Makes sense.
I think...
What?
Go ahead, Ian.
I think our issue this week is there's good songs in all of them, but they're all really mix issues, which are frustrating and annoying because the quality of the song's not coming through because of that. So we're kind of judging on an equal level for all of them, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're all, like I said, they're all not being presented in their best shape, which would then clinch and make our job easy, but that's not why we're here. If it were easy, the Marines would do it.
If it were easy, everybody'd be doing it. You're exactly right.
That's why they called us in today.
All right. Anybody got a decision made yet?
James?
Well, I've ruled out track 2. That's as far as I've got. I know that it's between 1 and 3 for me. 1, the vocal performance is good. As I said, not overly fan on the overuse of the effects because I don't think the vocalist needed them. I think it was a good enough performance without enhancing it too much. Track 3, such a shame that the vocals were swamped. Yeah, that was a good vocal performance that we could barely hear. I mean, between the two of them, it's going to be very tough because it's sort of one extreme to the other. Mix-wise, both are good performances. It's just one you can hear, the other you can't.
No, I didn't think it was going to be this hard.
Makes it tough.
I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I figured we had a solid hour show.
We do.
We're going on an hour and a half at this rate. All right.
Well, that's more solid.
That's what they tell me anyway. I don't believe them for a second. All right, song 1, 2, or 3. Tommy?
I want to go with 3 because I really like her vocal. Like I said, she's got a nice young Pat Benatar vocal, but I can't hear it all through the song. And the vocalist in number 1 is drowning in verb, and the snare is enough to knock a cat off the kitchen sink. And number 2 is definitely needs the most work. I'll agree with James as far as mix issues. Number 2 claims the title. Number 3 is very close. And I don't want people to, I'm going to, even with all the mix problems and whatever, just because it's the closest to what I consider one of my favorite bands, the B-52, I'm going to go with number 3.
All right, so 1 vote for number 3. James and Ian, your thoughts and vote, please.
Well, I think, I don't know. You see, I'm even thinking number 2. I'm actually considering number 2 because it was such a quirky song. And it's kind of stuck with me from that point of view, which is, just because it's got mix issues, the rest of them have mix issues. I'm going to go with number 2. I'm going to go with number 2 because it was quirky and it was interesting and it was different.
So number 3.
James has the opportunity to either make or break a tie.
Well, part of me is thinking, would it be fair to put 3 through into a hit list because of the mix problems? And the other part of me thinks the performance was good and probably should be deserving of winning the week, but possibly not faring as well in a hit list. I'm thinking of that in a long-term way, whereas if you were to put 1 into a hit list, depending on what the other tracks were like, it could do quite well because things are more consistent. Okay, we have problems with the drums and the effects on the vocal. Overall, it's probably more of a consistent mix even. But since I love Tommy, I'm going to go with 3.
All
Don't
right.
feel bad, Ian. You're still quirky, and I'm still trying to figure out your genre.
There you have it. A split decision is made. It will be track number 3 from the Sucker band called Circus, which is our song of the week. Tommy, thanks for being here. A pleasure to have you back and joining us on the show again.
It's always exciting. I actually had to stop because it was too exciting, seeing you guys every week. Saying goodbye at the end of the hour and a half just brought me to tears. So
It's not good for the
now
heart,
I
is
do
it,
that
Tom?
much less.
I don't know. I don't know
Not
where
good
he
for the
gets.
heart, man.
I don't know where
Yeah.
he gets that stuff. All right, James, Ian, thank you as always. Everybody out in the audience, thank you as well. Just a
May the
little
fourth
note.
be with you.
Just a little note for everybody out there. I do believe that based on today's video performance, that next week we're going to do all live audio. We'll still be producing video, putting it out on YouTube and making it available on iTunes as well. But I think that the actual live broadcast is going to be audio only, and that's just the way it has to be. Unfortunately, we just haven't had a whole lot of stability luck with our video. So sorry to say that, but that's the way it is. If you like what you see, like what you hear, not that you saw anything good today, but if you like it, please subscribe over on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, leave us a comment as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on everything. Even if you have to say the video sucks, that's fine, but just leave us your comments. Talk to you
Where do I
then.
leave this?
What's that?
Where do I leave this?
You can leave it on YouTube, leave it on iTunes. You can leave it on our website, wherever you'd like.
Okay.
It's all good,
Just don't
Ian.
leave it with me.
It's all
Just doing
good.
it. Just doing it now. May the fourth be with you, everyone, as well.
Ian, who is our guest panelist next week on Music Scene Investigation?
We have Mr. Paul Hurst, who works for G4 Software, and he's also known for his Gary Newman covers.
Now, there you go. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to having Paul back on with us again. Right now, however, we're going to play out with Sucker Band and their track Circus, our latest song of the week here on Music Scene Investigation. Please join us again next week right here, MusicSceneInvestigation.com. We'll talk to you then, everybody. Thanks for being here. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no, she'll never have to know. It's looking like you might
Apollo turn promoters to millionaires. Dago